His last night was with the no-hit bid. Some sad news as well, some tough news for the Tigers to swallow today. Miguel Cabrera is gone for a while now.
He's irreplaceable. He is the best player in the game of baseball. The Tigers are going to have a difficult time replacing Miguel Cabrera. He has gone on the disabled list with a grade 3, a calf strain. 5 is the worst that it could be. Grade 3, they've put him on the DL, but they say he'll be lost for at least 6 weeks.
All right, now let's look to the positive. The Tigers have a chance to win a ball game today. David Price on the mound, and really in his last 5 games, Rod, he's been awfully good.
You know, he's kind of reinvented himself. I remember talking to David way back in spring training, and he was talking about how he was going to use his breaking ball. He didn't start using that breaking ball early, but he has used it lately. We do know that he will bully all fastballs. He has a tremendous fastball. It gets up to 96, 97 miles an hour. 3-0 is the record in the last 5 starts with an ERA hovering just over 2. He doesn't walk very many, as you can see, 37 punch-outs, 3 base on balls, but one guy that David Price will need to watch here today, Jose Bautista. He hits him pretty good. Bautista has not seen the curveball that often from David. Hopefully he brings that curveball out today against Jose Bautista.
We expect a fun day here at the ballpark today. Happy 4th of July. After a short break, we'll send you back at the Call Sam Studios and check in with Justin White. But coming up in this one today, the Tigers hopeful of getting the offense going. Some 4th of July fireworks, perhaps. Tigers, Jays, Game 2 next.
Today in Detroit, we celebrate two great American traditions, the 4th of July and Tigers baseball. Old Glory and that Old English D flying proudly next to one another.
Swing and a miss. Boy, David Price, another strikeout.
It's Stars and Tigers stripes forever.
Fly ball in the air toward right field. Ball is hit well. Deep part of the ballpark. They look up. And J.D. Martinez has hit one out. It's a 3-run shot the other way.
We're in a great American city, celebrating America's independence and America's pastime. A special July 4th version of Tigers baseball is next on Fox Sports Detroit.
What a glorious day for baseball here in the Motor City. Happy 4th of July. David Price and the Tigers take the field today against the Toronto Blue Jays. Game 2 in this series here at Comerica. David Price today presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And David Price, when he was pitching primarily for the Tampa Bay Rays, absolutely dominated the Toronto Blue Jays, who they saw 19 times. He was 15-2 career against them. He checks in 7-2 this year with a 2.26 ERA. In the last 2 months, pitching his best baseball of the year.
And here is the lineup he will face today, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. The Jays lineup like this. Jose Reyes will lead off. He'll play short. Josh Donaldson at third. Bautista in right. Edwin Encarnacion, the DH. Danny Valencia, well, he's in the lineup today because he just crushes Price. Martin is the catcher. Colabello, Pilar, and Devin Travis, your bottom three.
Alex Avila getting the start, his second start back from the disabled list, but he's at first base today. Miguel Cabrera, if you didn't hear, he is on the 15-day disabled list. First start at first base and third career game for Alex Avila. Martinez, Ghost, Cespedes in the outfield. Castellanos, Wilson, Kinsler in the infield. James McCann, the catcher. That defensive alignment is always presented by Beaumont Health System.
So Miggy is out of the lineup, and so is Jose Iglesias today. Just a day off as Josh Wilson will get the start at shortstop this afternoon, and we are ready for baseball on a 75-degree afternoon here in the Motor City.
Happy 4th of July.
Hope your holiday is going well to this point. We'll do our best to make sure the Tigers get a victory here today against the Blue Jays. Jose Reyes leads it off for Toronto. It'll be Reyes, Donaldson, Bautista facing David Price. Tigers win last night behind Anibal Sanchez. The offense had 13 hits as well. And here we go. The first pitch is bounced slowly toward the mound. It'll be an easy play for Price. Nice start. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Expect the Toronto Blue Jays to swing very early and often against Price. They know that he likes to get that first pitch fastball over the plate. 4-strike-1. And they have a lot of dangerous fastball hitters, most of them batting second, third, and fourth this afternoon.
Josh Donaldson will stand in with 19 home runs this year, batting .298 overall. And 54 driven in for Donaldson. He was 1 for 5 in the ball game last night. Had a 2-run single in that uprising, that 6-run 8th inning that made things a little bit nervous here at the ballpark last night. Donaldson looks at a strike 0-1. Tremendous pickup in the offseason for the Blue Jays, coming over in the Brett Lawrie deal.
Real nice two-way player is Josh Donaldson.
One ball, one strike on Donaldson.
They threw him a lot of breaking balls in last night's game, and because he has that leg kick, he had a difficult time of timing the breaking ball and changeup thrown by Sanchez, and later in the contest against Joakim Soria.
That'll miss outside. 2-1 on Donaldson. Little bit of a breeze today, not much, otherwise clear skies. 75-degree afternoon here in the Motor City. Price ready with the 2-1 pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well located fastball at 94 miles an hour thrown by Price. He and McCann have worked very well the last couple of months. We've also talked about the usage of the David Price curveball. He has used that pitch quite frequently in the last 2 months. He was not using it very early in April.
And he got him strike 3 in the outside corner. Donaldson disagrees. 2 gone.
Andy Fletcher's the home plate umpire, and Donaldson saying, boy, is it going to be like this today? It's a changeup outside, tailing away from Josh Donaldson, and it looked like he has a beef.
Fox Tracks agrees. A little outside, but given the benefit of the doubt was Price. So with 2 outs here is Bautista. $16 home runs this year for Bautista.
Bautista, go ahead.
I was just going to say the Tigers handled him. In fact, their big 3 hitters pretty well last night. Bautista only had a couple of walks.
Right.
Price ready with the 1-0 pitch. That is high, 2-0.
Bautista has really good numbers against David Price. 5 homers and 15 driven in his career against the Tigers left-hander.
And he's got himself a nice hitting count right here. The 2-0 is low. 3 balls, no strike.
Well, if you're David, you really don't have to pitch to him all day. You just kind of keep the chain moving when a guy has those kind of power numbers against you. Even though Danny Valencia has a higher batting average in the batting order today against Price, not the power damage that Bautista has done.
Now the 3-0. He'll throw one in there for a strike, 3-1. Bautista's 62 walks leads the American League. Another power hitter on deck, and that would be Encarnacion. McCann flashing the target. And a ball 4 outside. It was close. So it's another walk for Bautista. They'll put him on with 2 outs. That'll bring up Encarnacion. We told you all about this Toronto offense last night. Although they were stymied for the most part by Anibal Sanchez, they come in leading Major League Baseball with 447 runs scored this year. And they average about 5.5 runs a game. Shift is on to the left side of the infield against Encarnacion, who takes strike 1.
Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion all have pull swings, all love to hit the ball to left field, and apparently Andy Fletcher has heard enough already here 3 batters in from the Toronto Blue Jays dugout.
There are the numbers this year. Toronto way ahead of the next closest team. So the Jays chattering already from the dugout. Now the 0-1. Popped him up. This will head back out of play. 0-2 on Edwin Encarnacion. I mentioned that the Blue Jays the only team in baseball with 3 men right now with at least 50 RBIs. Encarnacion is one of them, an even 50. John Gibbons has his team smack dab in the middle of the race, although the American League East has been somewhat mediocre this year.
8th season as the Blue Jays manager in his 2nd tour of duty.
Bouncing ball and a half swing to the right side of the infield. Kinsler throws him out. Inning is over. No runs, a walk, 1 left. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the 1st. They're getting set to start things off for the Tigers. No score. We go to the bottom of the first, and the Tigers starting 9 today is presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. For Detroit, it'll be Kinsler, Cespedes, and Victor Martinez batting in the 3 slot. JD is bumped up to clean up. You've got Avila and then Castellanos at 3rd. He's been hot in his last 9. McCann, Wilson, and Gose rounding it out today, and they will face the knuckleballer, and that'll be R.A. Dickey.
R.A. Dickey won a Cy Young his final year in New York playing for the Metropolitans. Comes in with a losing record. Only 3 wins and 8 losses so far this year for Dickey, an ERA that is approaching 5, but he does not get a whole lot of run support. If you see the knuckleball up, as a hitter, you let it fly, and if it's low, you just simply let it go. It will dance out of the strike zone.
So Kinsler, who's batting .264, was inserted into the leadoff slot again last night. It was 1-for-4 with a double. Tigers offense with the reshuffled lineup last night. It produced 13 hits. First one dances in for a strike, 0-1.
Well, each and every batter in the Tigers lineup are going to have to dig a little deeper with the absence now of Miguel Cabrera for at least 6 weeks.
0-2 on Kinsler. Victor Martinez has been bumped up to 3.
We know he will step up.
JD Martinez moved up as well, so the Tigers now will have to pick up the pace a little bit. And that hit him. The 0-2 pitch hit him. And Kinsler says thank you very much.
Against a knuckleballer, especially with 2 strikes, when Dickey's on the mound, you know you're going to get that pitch. And as a hitter, you have to stand there a long time because you don't know which way that ball is going to dance. And therefore, Kinsler not able to get out of the way of the knuckler.
Here is Yoenis Cespedes, who batted 2nd for the first time in his career last night.
Paid dividends in the first inning. He doubled. And then Miguel Cabrera drove him in just like Osmus drew it up.
289 for Cespedes. There's a throw that seemed to surprise Colabello at first base.
You would think with a knuckleballer on the mound, the guys that could run like Ian Kinsler or Anthony Gose would attempt to steal bases against R.A. Dickey. But he takes very little time getting that ball out of his hand into the catcher's glove with that slide step that he utilizes with the knuckleball.
Cespedes 43 RBIs this year. I remember talking to Steve Sparks, who was a knuckler that pitched for the Tigers, and he said what he would do is just what you said. Sometimes you have to compensate for it so that slide step becomes a big weapon. Otherwise, they'd be running on you all day.
Because the knuckleball floats up there anywhere from 82, 83 miles an hour.
2 balls, 1 strike. Cespedes, by and large, has had a slow homestand, just 4 for 31. Another throw back. Kinsler back in there.
The Blue Jays as a team this year, from an offensive standpoint, they are averaging nearly 6 runs per contest. But when Dickey's on the mound, they only score 4 runs per game for R.A.
Line right over the third baseman Donaldson's glove. It'll go to the wall. Kinsler is on his way to 3rd. They're going to stop in there. It's another double for Yoenis Cespedes, who now has 24 of them this year. Second and third, nobody out.
Real nice approach here by Yoenis Cespedes. Really quiet as far as the approach was concerned. He wants to make sure the ball was over the plate. He went down to get it. He caught it out in front of the plate and ripped it right over the head of the third baseman, Josh Donaldson.
And here are the doubles leaders in the American League. Cespedes right now is 3rd behind Kipnis and Dozier.
All of those guys reside in the AL Central.
Now here is Victor Martinez. And Victor looks at ball 1. Martinez is the average up to 251 now. He had 3 more hits in last night's game. He's hit safely in his last 4 as you see how they play him defensively. Swing and a miss. When you have a runner at third and a severe shift like this against Victor, you still need to have somebody fairly close to third base, and that's Donaldson. Otherwise, he'd be swung around even more. Or Kinsler would be halfway down the line with his lead. Swing and miss. 1-2. Not too many guys throwing the knuckleball in the big leagues anymore, so it's certainly something that is hard to replicate. You can't do it in batting practice. Dickey is 40 years of age now. Just got a piece of it to stay alive.
Tim Hortons is the sponsor of the Toronto Blue Jays starting defense this afternoon. Right to left, Bautista, Pilar, Valencia. Third to first, Donaldson, Reyes, Devin Travis, Colabello. Russell Martin, 20 caught runners stealing this year, which is the most in the American League.
Bounce again, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And no coincidence, the last couple of years under the leadership of Russell Martin, that Pittsburgh Pirates staff simply took off and got to the postseason. Now he is trying to get the Toronto Blue Jays pitchers to do the same thing. He loves to throw fastballs, not necessarily today with Dickey. He's a knuckleballer, but everybody else. He wants you to establish your fastball.
So Martinez doing what Martinez does as he fouls off another. R.A. Dickey, like David Price, resides in Nashville, Tennessee. R.A. was born in Nashville. Early scoring opportunity here in the first inning. Tigers have runners at second and third, nobody out. Two and two, the count stays on Victor Martinez. Dickey last year won 14 ball games and an ERA of 3.71. He's good for 200 innings over 30 starts. He's done so the last 3 years. 7 pitch at bat right now for Victor. And boxed by Martin, the catcher. Now it's gone 3 and 2. How about this number? Only Tim Wakefield has thrown more knuckleballs since 2003.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's Sparky.
Yeah, he's on that list. He threw 2,651 of them.
Man, Martinez still battling even against a guy that floats one up there against him. 3 and 2 the count on Victor Martinez. This will be the 10th pitch coming up in this at bat. That's yanked foul.
Tigers made the right decision when they decided to put Victor on the disabled list. He was batting just 216 before he left for about a month. And now at 321, familiar territory for Victor. Career hitter, left-handed and right-handed when the season began.
It's almost like Martinez is doing this on purpose. It's just so easy for him to foul off pitch after pitch and find one he likes.
He wants that ribby, though, that's for sure. Runner on third, nobody out. Ground ball towards second base or first base. Kinsler scores easily.
Kinsler started things by being hit on an 0-2 pitch and then a double by Cespedes. Ground ball. He'll get his ribby. Fielded by Colabello. Everybody moves up, but it's 1-0 Detroit.
Now you wonder whether they will play the infield in with J.D. Martinez and David Price on the mound. David Price comes into the equation. You cannot fall too far behind him because he is 15-2 career against Toronto, so you wonder what John Gibbons, their manager, will do here with J.D. Martinez.
JD steps in, batting .284 now. They are bringing the infield in a little bit, just a couple of steps.
Yeah, they're playing number 2 depth. There are 4 depths in the infield. All the way the cut of the grass is 1. Where they're playing right now is 2. 3 is double play depth.
Driven deep to left field, way back. That ball is gone.
That boy's on fire.
J.D. Martinez hits another.
Unbelievable.
22nd home run of the year. He can't be stopped now.
I don't care if you play the infield, in, back, third spot, fourth spot. It doesn't matter.
You need about 10 depths on the infield to play that.
Knuckleballer that just didn't do a whole lot. That one just floated right up into the happy zone of J.D. Martinez, and he hit it out into the Toronto Blue Jays bullpen, and the Tigers jump out on an early lead here this afternoon.
So on a day in which the Tigers learn they will lose Miguel Cabrera for 6 weeks, they come out swinging the bats. Alex Avila, the batter. Avila batting in the 5 slot, hitting .194 this year. A couple of walks in the ball game last night. He'll pull that one right into the shift. Devin Travis will throw him out. 2 away. That is the 16th home run allowed by R.A. Dickey, the highest mark on the team. Bring up Castellanos with the bases empty. Enjoy the All-Star game, JD. You got to be going now. There's a strike call. 0-1 on Castellanos. One ball, one strike. Nick has picked it up as well. He's hit safely in his last 4. Drive one to left center field. He's hit safely in his last 5. Extra bases to the wall. R.A. Dickey is fooling no one here in the first inning. A double for Castellanos.
Real nice, quiet approaches today for the Tigers. High leg kick for Castellanos because of the knuckleballer. He knows he has plenty of time to get that foot down, which will allow him to rotate the hips and make some really good contact for his 11th double of the season.
But Nick down his last 10, 361.
Well, Brad got his attention. And Brad sat him down for 3 consecutive games, and since he has come back after sitting down for 3 consecutive games, the batting average is way up for Nick.
Hitting safely in 9 of his last 10. Tigers have 3 runs on 3 hits. McCann behind the dish in this one today. He'll drive one foul, 1-1. So the Tigers put up 3 early ones on the heels of Dickey going 4-0 in his last 5 starts against Detroit.
But as we witnessed in last night's game, you better score a bunch of runs against these Blue Jays.
That is the truth. 8 of them last night was nearly not enough. That's sliced to right field. That is going to get down and score a run. McCann is on his way to second. He's taking the turn and going for 3. And McCann is in with a triple. James McCann gets an RBI, his 18th.
Tigers have 4 hits here in the 4th in the first inning against R.A. Dickey, and all of them for extra bases. This ball gets down the right field corner. Bautista slips, and that's why McCann was able to get all the way to third base.
How about McCann? He's got 3 triples now.
He's fun to watch.
He's a catcher.
Fun to watch.
And he has 3 baggers. Here's Josh Wilson now trying to drive in another. It's 4-0. Ooh, look out. This one is going to get away from the catcher. He is hit by the pitch, though.
Oh, the day getting rougher. Got him, huh?
Apparently so. Wilson is being sent to first base and McCann back to third. Where'd that get him? Cost the Tigers a run there.
Grazed him right off the left shoulder. Same spot it got Kinsler to lead off the game.
First and third now. The Tigers will bat around here as Ghost comes in.
So 2 hit batters and 4 extra base hits in the inning.
Well, the Blue Jays starter's ERA this year has not been good. 4.55. And it's taking a hit here in the first inning. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Reyes has it. Will win the race to the bag to end the inning. However, it is a big inning. It is a 4-run inning. JD Martinez highlighting it with a 2-run shot. He is on fire. Brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. By Jeep, start your summer of adventure at the Jeep 4th of July sales event. And by Country Fresh Sour Cream, dips, and ice cream. Get real. Tigers off to a splendid start again here today. They scored 4 against R.A. Dickey in the first.
And very tough uphill climb today now against David Price for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Danny Valencia will start things off for the Jays. And he will look at a strike 0-1. Valencia, then Russell Martin and Chris Colabello. .321 average this year for Valencia. 5 home runs. Just off the plate, 1-1. David gave up a walk, a 2-out walk to Bautista in the first, but no damage. .12 for 17 against David Price. It's almost unheard of. A .706 batting average. The 2-1.
Outstanding changeup there thrown by Price in a fastball count, which obviously had Valencia fooled and out in front. Nearly screwed himself into the ground. Inside with a fastball here. Oh, he missed too. Got to get it in if you're going to go in there. can't leave it over the heart of the plate. Not against a guy that's hitting 700 against you.
Valencia's been around. He's been with several different organizations, including Minnesota, KC, Baltimore, Boston.
When we first saw him with Minnesota, I thought he was going to be their third baseman for the next decade.
Well, he got a lot of Rookie of the Year votes, didn't win it, but he got off to a nice start with them. 2-2 the count. Blue Jays did not get their offense going until scoring 6 in the 8th inning of last night's game. Swing and a miss. Dusted him with the fastball up the letters. 2 strikeouts for David.
If you're Valencia, you see 94 coming out of David's hand, and it's straight. You think you can get to it, but it's up around the letters, and it's very difficult to get through with that velocity.
Here's the catcher, Russell Martin, who did not play last night. Deanna Navarro caught it, and he provided a big 3-run hit late in the game. Brings us to our Bernstein advantage, the pitcher-batter matchup between these two. And Price has had good success. He's only 4 for 19 against David. Martin having another solid year. 12 homers. He's knocked in 38. However, he's going through a slow stretch right now. He's only 3 for his last 24.
And Russell Martin began his big league career playing for the Los Angeles Dodgers. They made all-star teams there.
Ooh. 2-1. Not sure I've seen him with that beard look before.
I don't know if I have either. Everybody's got those beards these days.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I could grow one, but I've got no chance.
No?
Never. No chance.
Some of these beards are more artistic than others. This one's a little bit different.
He couldn't wear this when he was playing for the Yankees.
Good point. 2-2 on Martin. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. David Price with his 3rd strikeout. 2 gone.
With 2 strikes, for the most part, Price is going to throw you a lot of fastballs. That's his go-to pitch.
Here's Chris Colabello. .332 average for Colabello. He was waived in the offseason and picked up by the Blue Jays.
He's a real nice story of perseverance. He spent 7 years playing independent baseball before finally hooking up with a major league squad, getting to the big leagues, and performing. 7 years in independent baseball.
Bouncing back up the middle. It's going to find a hole right by Price for the first hit of the game for Toronto.
It's kind of like the story we were telling last night on the guy stepping to the plate. Pilar went to a D2 school in Carson, California, 32nd round draft choice, and hit his way to the big leagues.
Cal State Dominguez was at D2 school in Carson, and when he was there he had a 54-game hitting streak.
Carson, real nice area out in Southern California. My father used to have a home there.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Nice area. Real nice area.
There are too many areas of California they're not. Pilar will hit with 2 outs. And that's it for a strike. Pilar was born in West Hills, California, lives in Woodland Hills. fouled straight back, and the count goes 0-2. Pilar's made some really good defensive plays this year, but beyond that, his offensive numbers have been pretty good.
He was a .322 career minor league player. And that's how you get to the big leagues when you're drafted in the 32nd round, because you usually get a pair of shoes and a glove and maybe a couple of bats, and they say, go get them.
Those guys are just happy to be signed and happy to have an opportunity.
That's a good find by the area scout of the Toronto Blue Jays out west.
0-2, the count stays on Kevin Pillar. Tigers scored 4 in the first. Blue Jays have gotten a 2-out single by Colabello here in the second. Swing and a miss. Pillar is out of there, and a ball in the dirt. 4 strikeouts for David Price. He strikes out the side here in the second. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the second, up 4-0. Nothing is our score as we go to the bottom of the second. Don't forget to stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game. We'll select our Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's Big Mac and 10-piece McNuggets. Well, let's see if the Tigers now can add some more on here against R.A. Dickey. Tigers hit around in that first inning, sending 9 men to the plate. Kinsler got it started, hit by a pitch, and he pulls that one foul. Kinsler perking up a little bit on this homestand, 10 hits as they wind up the stand in the series against the Blue Jays. Tigers have one more tomorrow, and then it's on the road leading up to the All-Star break. Here is the 0-2 from Dickey. Missed inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. All right, Dickey won the Cy Young Award a couple of years ago, 2012, with the New York Mets. He was a 20-game winner that year. 2-2.
That offseason, the Toronto Blue Jays made a lot of moves. They were able to get a lot of really good players from the Florida Marlins at the time who were in a fire sale.
Bouncer back up the middle, and another hit into center field.
And when they acquired R.A. Dickey, they gave up Noah Syndergaard, who has turned into one of the best young pitching prospects in all of baseball.
Pretty good catching prospect also won in that deal, Travis d'Arnaud. are the Cy Young Award numbers for Dickey. Had a 2.73 earned run average.
Noah Syndergaard pitched against the Toronto Blue Jays earlier this year in Toronto and pitched 6 innings and struck out 11. So they got a bird's eye view of what they could have had.
Runner bluffs at first. It's a strike called on Cespedes.
I guess you could never really know how those young pitchers are going to turn out, but in Syndergaard's case, he was highly regarded as one of the best pitching prospects when they traded him to the New York Mets.
Golfed in the air to center on a line, but it's going to be caught. 1 out. Well, Syndergaard at the time was in A ball. In fact, he was pitching in Lansing in the Midwest League. So you're right. I mean, you can project, but they were willing to give up a guy pitching in A ball at the time.
They thought that after they acquired Dickey, they had the top of the rotation guy because he was coming off winning a Cy Young for the Mets, and they felt like with the talent that they had assembled, they were ready to challenge in the American League East, but it didn't go that well for them.
So here is Victor Martinez, who after a lengthy battle hit a ground ball to drive in a run in the first inning.
Dickey not missing many bats here today.
No, everything is hit really hard. They were fortunate that last one was hit straight at the center fielder. Tigers have 5 hits already in this game. Detroit comes in just still 6 games back in the Central. Kansas City won in 10 innings last night. But the Tigers did gain a game on second place Minnesota, who lost to the Royals last evening. And here's how it's shaken out right now. The Royals up 4.5 on Minnesota, 6 up on the Tigers. 2-1. Pulled foul. Make it 2-2 on Victor.
It was a walk-off win for the Kansas City Royals in last night's game. Lorenzo Cain was on third base, and Gerard Dyson was the hitter. Hit a little roller toward first base, and Cain, with his speed, was able to score. And I was listening to Dyson's interview after the game, and he said, well, that was speed do.
It's his famous saying. I love that quote. Well, that's what speed do. 3-2 the count. So Martinez again has gone full here now against Dickey. Royals actually should have won that game in the bottom of the 9th inning. They had a runner at third on a fly ball by Moustakas in a botched running play. Ooh, look at that, picked off. Kinsler couldn't quite get back, and now he'll be tagged out. 2 gone.
Told you Dickey is very quick at getting the ball toward home plate, which makes it very difficult to steal bases, even though he's a knuckleballer. But he's got some really quick feet. Kinsler took 1 stutter step toward second base, and that was 1 too many. Colabello able to fire the ball down toward the shortstop to get the. Actually, Colabello applied the tag.
And Martinez rolls one to Colabello. Dickey will cover. And that'll end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. Tigers baseball on the 4th of July, presented by Bell Tire. Now here at Comerica, David Price struck out the side in the second, did give up a single, but no problems. Devin Travis, the former Tigers prospect, will lead things off for the Blue Jays. Travis, Reyes, Donaldson. And Price starts him off with a strike on a fastball inside part of the plate. Devin batting .285. Got himself a 5-game hit streak. Travis had a single in that 6-run 8th last night, his only hit of the game.
A nice curveball there, dropped in beautifully by Price at 77 miles an hour. He's been using the curveball a lot of the last 8 starts or so. Travis stands way off the plate. You don't see many right-handers stand this far away from home plate, but he dives in with that front shoulder, and that's the main reason why he has so many hits toward right field and center field this year. He's had a nice approach.
Florida State University product. Travis, in his 3 minor league seasons with the Tigers, was a .323 hitter.
When you can use right field the way that he uses right field, you're usually going to have a pretty good batting average.
Laid off that pitch away, and the count evens now 2-2.
Bruce Fields, Tigers minor league hitting coordinator, would be awfully proud of Travis. Of course, he worked very close with him in the minors, as did the coaches that he had at every level.
And he laid off again.
Remember when we first saw him a couple of spring trainings ago? I mean, he was just a kid coming out of rookie ball, I think, after his first year, and Jim Leland was steady putting him in games, and he was succeeding every step of the way. He was not afraid.
I have one memory of Devin Travis spring training. He came in a pinch hit late in the game and hit a homer. And I said, who is this guy? Little guy stepping up there. Travis, not a very big guy, although he's gotten a little bit bigger now in the last couple of years. But he just stepped up in a big league spring training game. Homered, I think it was the 8th inning, late in the game. And it just kind of made you stand up and take notice.
And the one knock on him, everybody said he wouldn't be a really good second baseman, but he's turned into an outstanding defender.
High, towering fly ball to center. The man he was traded for is going to catch it. That's Anthony Ghost, one gone.
Menards brings you the big money encounter. The last time David Price started a game against the Toronto Blue Jays, it was August 10th in Toronto. That game lasted 6 hours and 37 minutes. 19 innings, and you don't forget games like these. We called every single pitch, and surprisingly, the extra innings were very exciting because it was going back and forth. Finally, Bautista with the big hit to win the game.
Yeah, I blocked that one out of my memory.
You forgot about that?
Well, it was a travel day, wasn't it?
It was.
We sat there inning after inning. I mean, I thought the Tigers had that thing won 3 or 4 times.
It was a long day at the ballpark.
Jose Reyes bounced out to the pitcher his first time up. Reyes last night had a 21-game hitting streak against the Tigers snapped. He left the game early, had only 3 at-bats in the game. And the guy who replaced him, Ryan Goins, had 2 hits. One and 2 on Reyes. It was a time over in the National League when Jose was stealing boatload of bases. He had 3 straight years of at least 60, including 78 stolen bases one year.
High energy.
We popped that one up, and it's headed back to the seats. Man, could you ask for a better day on the 4th of July today?
No, you really couldn't. I mean, it's not extremely hot. It's not all that humid. At least I'm sitting up here in the AC, but it looks like the people down there are comfortable.
The AC has a way of getting rid of the humidity.
Right.
Another big crowd. Great holiday. 75 degrees at game time today.
I'm sure we have quite a few viewers as well this afternoon.
Oh, just missed. 2-2 on Jose Reyes.
Best fastball so far of the afternoon, thrown aggressively inside by Price at 96 miles an hour, and it just missed. Boy, can he use both sides of the plate with that heater in the mid-90s.
Line to center field, base hit, maybe more. It's going to get between Ghosts and the left fielder Cespedes. It's going to be a double. Two-bagger for Reyes.
Well, what is that?
I don't know. We'll think about it in a minute. Right now, time for a game break. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mick, thank you. Color is Reyes' hair?
I don't know, but he's making some kind of fashion statement here on the 4th of July.
It's a one-out double for Reyes, and here is Josh Donaldson.
I think he just kicked his helmet off on purpose when he rounded first so we could see it.
We could see it,
yeah. He wanted to show it off.
Donaldson struck out his first time up. Drives this one to center field, hit hard. Ghost going back. A lot of room out there, right to the warning track. Runner will tag. Reyes will move up. Here you go, Rod.
Yeah. Hits the ball hard. But take a look at him. Helmet flies off. Wanted to show off that new dude.
Well, what do you got on that dude?
Well,
on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give?
Well, you know what I say, what my mother said.
So in other words, you're not going to answer that question.
She said, if you don't really have nothing nice to say, then you just don't say it.
Here's Bautista.
Thank you, Mom.
She pulled you out of the fire there.
She's probably tuning in today.
Nice.
Out in Santa Monica, California. She doesn't miss a game.
Now, does she give you advice?
She used to earlier in my career when I would, say something kind of crazy or I would misuse a word. Mom would be right there.
So she'd call you? Huh?
She'd call me on it. Yes, she would.
Bautista trying to drive in a run here with 2 outs. The Jays have a runner at third. The Tigers have a 4-0 lead. Driven to center field.
They can hit it out there all day long. This is not Rogers Center.
All the way to the warning track for the out. And that'll do it. No runs, a double, 1 left. Sports proudly supports Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our country. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com. What a great sight before the game today. Some veterans ringing the infield, and the Tigers and Blue Jays all came out and shook some hands. And to our veterans, thank you very much.
It's always a special day when you see the Tigers players as the Toronto Blue Jays players out there with the veterans. Very special.
Here come the Tigers now as we go to the bottom of the third, facing R.A. Dickey. Well, Martinez continues to do what he's been doing, and that's hit homers. 2-run shot in the first.
22 homers already, 55 driven in for JD.
I mentioned that he's on a pace to hit about 43, 44 home runs this year. If he keeps this up, that pace is going to get up to 50.
And he's doing it in a park where a lot of people don't reach the seats with regularity.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because some of these balls he's hitting are way out in certain ballparks, especially the ones he hits to right center field here. 1-2 on JD. Two balls, two strikes. Made a good point last night. It's amazing, a guy that can go from being released in spring training one year to probably an all-star in the next year. That is popped up foul. I don't know if Colabello is going to get there. He won't.
Give him some credit, though. He's a guy that retooled his entire swing, watching video on guys like Miguel Cabrera, Ryan Braun, Albert Pujols. Took it to Puerto Rico a couple of off seasons ago. Didn't really get a chance to realize and perfect that swing in spring training with the Astros. They released him, and that was where it all began for JD. Tigers picked him up, and the rest is history.
I think the Astros have had some internal conversations about letting this guy go.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, Jeff Luhnow, who pretty much runs the major league club, he's their general manager, he told them in spring training, by no circumstances can we ever make a mistake like we made on JD Martinez. We cannot afford to make those kind of mistakes.
Dickey again with the 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Well, he would fit right in with the Astros. He is a home run hitting team, or the Astros are. And Brad was saying the other day, yep, but he's ours. He is not an Astro. Now the 3-2. And he walked it, ball 4. Leadoff man is on. Hey, with more on the Folds of Honor, let's check in with our buddy Matt Shepard.
All right, Mario, you met her earlier today. Emily Faxon is the Assistant Director of Scholarships for Folds of Honor. How do people get involved in this, and what's the mission, Emily?
We honor their sacrifice by educating their legacy. We provide educational scholarships to the spouses and dependents of fallen or wounded service members.
And obviously this is something that a lot of people should get involved in. We have a website that people can be driven to.
Absolutely. www.foldsofhonor.org. You can donate, and you can also apply for a scholarship right there.
Who applies for it, and how do you win it?
You apply for it between January 1st and March 31st if you are the spouse or child of a disabled service member, and it's based on your service member's disability rating.
You do a really good job on camera. Thanks.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you do a really good job overall. And you know what, Mario? It's amazing numbers. 1.8 million veterans are disabled, and the average age is 26. That's something that you have gotten involved in a great deal. We honor all those veterans, and thank you, Mario, for all the involvement you've taken, too.
All right, Shep, we appreciate it. Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, there's no better way than to honor our fallen veterans by making sure their children get a college education. That's a great way to do it through scholarships. So thank you for that. Velo swings and misses. Alex up there now after a leadoff walk to Martinez. And it's stories like that. That is what 4th of July is all about here.
Oh, for sure.
Dickey ready with the 2-1. 2-2 on Avila.
4th of July also all about family. Summer, good weather, spending time with your loved ones.
Well, we've got all of that here today. A spectacular afternoon. And the 2-2. 3-2 on Avila.
Tigers are doing a really nice job of laying off the knuckleballs, excuse me, that Dickey is throwing around the waist area, because those usually float out of the strike zone. The ones that are up, they aren't missing.
Stroke to left center. That'll get down. Base hit. Martinez going to head to third base. And he's in there standing up. Avila with a single to left. Tigers in business again.
It's a really nice swing here by Avila. On the knuckleball, stays with it, hits it the opposite way. Good base running by J.D. Martinez to get to third. Also nice play by Pilar in center field, not throwing that ball to third base, throwing it to second base to keep the double play in order for R.A. Dickey.
Here's Castellanos, who had a double and scored a run in the first inning. Tigers threatening to add to their 4-0 lead. Ball one. Ground ball to third. They're going to come home with it. And he's going to be out. So JD is retired at home plate, reaching on the fielder's choice, Castellanos.
That's a double play ball all day, every day, but it's a heads-up play by Donaldson, the third baseman. You cannot fall any further behind than you already are, especially the way that David Price is pitching. And so they elect to come home to get the out and sacrifice turning a double play.
That'll bring up McCann. A 3-base hit to the corner in right field in his first at bat, knocking in a run. And he is now 8 for 17 on the homestand. Tigers have both McCann and Avila in the lineup today. Avila playing first base. Swing and a miss, 0-1. R.A. Dickey, a few years back, in fact in 1993, was originally drafted by the Tigers. That was out of high school. He decided to turn the Tigers down, and he went on to play at Tennessee. Here's a throw back behind the runner, but not in time.
Crazy thing happened with R.A. Dickey as well. He was one of the best collegiate pitchers in the country when he left Tennessee. But, you know, before he was able to sign his contract, the team that drafted him out of college noticed some abnormalities with his right elbow just by looking at the picture, and they did an MRI, and I guess what happened is he had no ligament in his right elbow, and his signing bonus went from about $900,000 all the way down to $75,000 because of the picture that was seen on the front of, I believe it was Sports Illustrated, he along with some other really good collegiate players, and it was that had to be tough.
That's a lot of money, no doubt. And Dickey, you know, he really didn't have a whole lot of success in the minor leagues. So in 2006, they converted him, or he converted, to a knuckleball pitcher. And in fact, made his first start as a knuckleball pitcher against the Tigers. Didn't go so well.
Didn't go well?
He gave up 6 homers in that game. One of them by our very own Craig Monroe. I think Inge had a couple of homers in that game. Chris Shelton, remember him?
Red Pop.
Red Pop.
Orange Crush. We had him going right to the Hall of Fame, didn't we?
We kind of missed on that one. But Chris was a great guy.
He had a good April, though, you got to admit.
He did, man. He had an April to remember. Lifted back out of play. 2-2. The count stays on McCann.
So I guess you really don't need a ligament in your right elbow to pitch a long time in the big leagues.
Apparently not. But the way they discovered it really was kind of intriguing. But it did cost R.A. a lot of money coming out of college.
And good for him. He's been able to make it all back.
No doubt. And the ball low. Run it full now, 3-2. He's already at 67 pitches in this game. We're only in the third. Pulled foul. Man, McCann almost stuck that one in there. Three and 2 the count on James McCann. David Price has given up just 2 hits, no runs in this game. There's a pickoff throw, but not a good one. Travis was sneaking in behind the runner. Bouncing ball back up the middle. This should be 2. Reyes tags the bag and a double play. So Dickey sidesteps any more trouble. We've played 3 here at Comerica.
More games since 2004 in all of baseball than Miguel Cabrera, 1,809, but on the disabled list for the first time in his career. I went inside the Toronto clubhouse to get a pulse of what the Blue Jays think. Mario and Rod, Justin Smoke saw it up close and personal. He was at first base. He thought it was a cramp. Jose Bautista told me, if you don't think it increases our chances of winning the next 2 games, you're crazy. We hate to see it, but our job is to win games. And I thought Mark Burley put it best. He said, look, it makes it easier on our pitchers and others, but it stinks for the game of baseball. Guys?
Agreed, Shep, and I think most players feel that way. I mean, they're really in tune to how important Miguel is to the game, and really all stars in this game. And it's unfortunate for the Tigers, but unfortunate as well for the whole game of baseball.
He elevates the game of all the players when he's on the field, not just the Tigers, but the opposition. They just love the charismatic smile of Miguel Cabrera and the fun that he has while playing. Burley nailed it, though. Life is easier for the pitchers, but baseball will miss Miggy for the next 6 weeks.
Well, despite the fact that Cabrera is out of the lineup today, the Tigers put up 4 in the first inning. They've got David Price on the hill and lead 4-0. And Encarnacion starting things off. Ropes one foul back into the dugout.
There's no doubt that internally the Tigers are looking at just how they can proceed here. With Miguel Cabrera being on the disabled list for the next 6 weeks. They've got some options. They can do some different things. They may have to go out and make a deal.
Hammered back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, it's something that catches you by surprise, and all of a sudden you're put into a mode where you've got to figure out what you're going to do very quickly. Tigers really don't have a lot of internal options because, as Brad says, not many guys want to sign with a team in the minor leagues knowing that Miguel Cabrera is the first baseman, and there's really no opportunity. A little pop-up that's going to drop into left field, base hit. Encarnacion is on.
Here's the injury in last night's game. It occurred in the 4th inning. 3-2 count. Victor in the batter's box. Miggy took off from first base about 4 or 5 steps, and it turned out to be a grade 3 strain to the left calf. It's also hard to go out and try to find a first baseman that could give you any kind of production the way that Miggy does.
Here's what Miggy had to say on Instagram today, talking about working as hard as he can, working as hard as possible, and he still feels this team can remain in the playoff race without him. But if you're looking at 6 weeks, you're probably looking at, what, the 2nd week of August, in that area, which would still leave plenty of season left. But the Tigers, in the interim, have to find a way to elevate their game.
I don't think if the Tigers weren't 6 games back of the Kansas City Royals, they might be able to get by in the next 6 weeks without Miguel Cabrera. But due to the fact that they're trailing by 6, and they almost have to go out and try to bring in another bat to help him.
Castellanos fires to second for 1. There's a double play. So Valencia, who came in with really good numbers against Price, is now 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a double play ball.
A real nice feed here by Castellanos on the high chopper. And it gets it to Ian Kinsler, hits him right in the chest, which allows Kinsler to keep that hand really close to the glove. In very little time, exchanging the ball to the hand, getting it on its way to first base.
2 out now for Russell Martin. Martin pops it up. Tough play, first base line. Avila cruising over there, and Alex leaning into the seats, flipping into the seats, and he made the catch.
Really?
Alex Avila with a spectacular play. He held on to it. He'll get a standing O for this.
He ought to get more than that.
What a play by Avila.
For a guy that really never ever plays first base.
Ooh, that was nice.
First base, first start, goes over and just makes a wonderful play. And it didn't get much better than this. And this is one of the more difficult plays for a first baseman, even if you've been playing there for 10 years.
Pretty amazing. Toughest play for really the most seasoned first baseman. course, Donaldson made one recently, flying into the seats.
Yeah, he did. He went about 3 rows deep.
I think Galaxy has more style points, though, because he flipped over. Both great plays. So Avila making his presence felt. 4-0. Tigers have the lead in the bottom of the 4th. In the air towards center field, and Pilar backs off as it drops in for a base hit. So Kinsler, or Wilson rather, with a single to lead things off here in the 4th. He's on base for the 2nd time. That'll bring up Ghosts. Anthony with a force out, bouncing out to end that long first inning. Goes 2 out of 3 against his former mates last night in the opener.
Anthony had a really nice approach in last night's game. Very strong with the top hand, which allowed him to hit some hard ground balls and line drives through the infield. That's the kind of approach that you like to have, especially when speed is part of your weapons.
That'll get away from Martin, advance the runner.
Dickey, for the longest time, had his personal catcher, Josh Tolley. Yeah, but Russell Martin catching the knuckleballer here this year for the first time. I don't think Russell likes it all that much.
No, he just got charged with a pass ball.
He's got a larger mitt than normal. That's it's a catcher slash first baseman's mitt. You'll see a lot of guys that catch knuckleballers. There's not that many have an oversized glove.
The concentration that catchers have to have with a conventional pitcher out there is just really amazing, but I would imagine you'd have to ratchet it up with a knuckleball.
Just can't stab at the ball. I mean, if you're looking for a conventional fastball or breaking ball, you kind of know where those balls are going to end up at, because most of the guys in the big leagues hit their spots 90% of the time. But against a knuckleballer with the ball dancing all over the place, you have to keep the glove sort of limp, and you just have to let it come to the glove, or else you'll be stabbing it all day long.
3-1. Three balls, 2 strikes. What Uger used to say about the knuckleball? Best way to catch a knuckleball is to wait till it stops rolling, then pick it up.
He might be onto something.
Yeah. Certainly a lot easier. 3-2 on Ghosts. Tigers trying to add to their 4-0 lead. We're in the 4th. Pulled into right field, base hit. Wilson will be stopped at 3rd, and the Tigers now have him at 1st and 3rd, nobody out.
And Dave Clark, respecting the reputation of Bautista in right field, he has an outstanding arm, therefore holds up Wilson.
And the Tigers conclude their weekend series with the Toronto Blue Jays tomorrow at 1:08. It's Sunday Kids Day, and all kids 14 and under receive a free Ian Kinsler poster. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. And here is Kinsler now with men at 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Single hit by pitch. And he fouls it back 0-1. Ian now with 11 hits on this homestand. Tigers as a team have 8 hits today. Almost hit him again. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dickey came in having allowed 3 earned runs or less in each of his last 6 starts. But he's given up 4 today, and looks like a few more here in this inning. Here's the 1-1. Runner goes. They'll send Ghost back to first base. Four runs, 8 hits. Detroit, no runs, 3 hits for the Toronto Blue Jays. Middle game in this 3-game series. KC is playing Minnesota again, but that is a night game tonight at Kauffman Stadium. Popped up foul, back out of play. Martin flashing the target. Swing and a miss. Snapped over to first, and he got back. Kinsler is out. It'll be the first strikeout of the ball game for R.A. Dickey. And now Cespedes will check in. We saw last night that you need to tack on as many as you can against this Jays offense.
They're dangerous. And we were talking last night about the Blue Jays. They went through a stretch and where they won 17 of 22 games, and they were averaging 7 runs a game. I mean, that's just getting it done. 22 straight games, they scored at least 7 runs every game, or averaged 7 runs every game. They have 14 games this year where they've scored 10 or more runs.
Cespedes takes ball 1. They're second in the American League in walks, so they're taking their base on balls. They're also second in home runs. And again, it's that trio of guys that has done the majority of the work. Adelson, Bautista, Encarnacion. Runner goes. It'll bounce in and away from Martin. They're going to try and score the run, and Wilson's going to be out by a mile.
He got a late break. He should have stayed at third base. He did not get a good read, but he still tried to score. And nice job by Martin getting there. Nice job by Dickey applying the tag. Once you don't get the initial good jump from third base, you may as well just stay there. You can see jockeying back and forth. Finally takes off, but he takes off too late.
So we'll see if that short circuits this inning. But he was out by a long margin. Goes taking second on that play. Here's the 2-0. Big rip there by Yoenis. 2-1. Double and a run scored. He doubled and scored in the first inning tonight, just like he did in last night's ball game. Pulled on the ground and through. Base hit. Ghost coming to third. They're going to try and score him, and he will. Ball is bobbled and left by Valencia. And so Cespedes comes out with a 2-out RBI single in the clutch to make it 5-0.
Valencia was not going to throw out Ghost anyway, and not with 2 outs. And not with Anthony Ghost's speed. He got a great jump off second base.
Fourth RBI of the year for Cespedes. 5-0 Detroit. Bring up Victor Martinez. He'll shoot one fair to left field. He beat the shift.
Do it, Victor.
Cespedes on his way to third. Here comes the throw, and he's in there. That put runners at first and third. First hit of the game for Victor. And it's time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag Detroit's Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast Again, that hashtag Detroit Data Strong Fan. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. First and third now, and a chance for J.D. Martinez. Ball one. So that makes it 10 hits now for the Tigers. They had 13 in last night's game. That's in the air toward right center, playable. Center fielder Pilar is under it to retire the side. Tigers add one more, and we go to the fifth. Major League Baseball's proceeds from the sale of these caps and jerseys will be donated to the Welcome Back Veterans Program, which provides grants to university hospitals throughout the country that treat veterans suffering from PTSD and traumatic brain injuries. MLB has committed $30 million to Welcome Back Veterans. What an initiative to help out our veterans, and especially here on the 4th of July. David Price goes back to the hill on top 5-0. First one is in there. It's a strike call to Chris Colabello. 7, 8, 9 coming up for the Jays. Colabello, Pilar, and Travis. Colabello was single with 2 outs in the second, did not score.
For the second consecutive game, Tiger starters doing a wonderful job getting ahead of Blue Jays hitters. And David Price is 12 of 16 in first pitch strikes thrown. Anibal Sanchez was sensational in last night's game as well.
Two and one on Colabello. Mentioned that Colabello was a guy that spent 7 years in independent baseball. He actually was signed out of a tryout camp by the Tigers in 2006, but the Tigers then released him a few months later. And then he went the independent route. And somehow, after a long climb up that ladder, got back to the big leagues, or he got to the big leagues.
It's hard enough to get signed out of a tryout camp.
Right. But he got that, then was released, and then found himself playing indie ball. Now Price ready with the 2-2. Fouled away. Colabello last year had 27 RBIs in the month of April. He just kind of burst on the scene with Minnesota. That was the most, in fact, that established a record for RBIs in the month of April in Twins history. And another one back in the seats. He grew up in Italy. He was born in Massachusetts, so he spent a lot of time in Italy as a youngster.
Played at a D2 school as well.
Undrafted out of Assumption College. We say it oftentimes, but it's so true. There are very many different paths to the big leagues. The 2-2, swing and a miss, and Price finally disposes of it. It's 5 strikeouts now for Price. Well, tomorrow the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup final is here, and it's a rematch 4 years in the making. Alex Morgan and Team USA will take on the defending champ Japan to see who will be crowned champion. Coverage begins Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, only on your local Fox station and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
We have our own jersey.
We do. You going to wear it on the plane? Because we'll be flying to Seattle tomorrow.
No, I will not wear it on the plane.
Oh, come on, Newt. Show your spirit. And Newt. It even has your name on it.
It does. Very nice.
It'll be a Sunday doubleheader tomorrow. You got Tigers and the Jays here at Comerica Park. Our coverage begins at noon, and the World Cup coverage begins at 5 p.m. tomorrow night. Busy day. Kevin Pillar, the batter.
And David Price has done a very nice job of spotting that fastball on the outside black all afternoon in the mid-90s. He's gone inside just a handful of times. Plus change up to go along with the mid-90s heater. Hadn't thrown many curveballs here today.
Oh, that one drilled Andy Fletcher.
He got him right in the stomach.
Man. Here comes Kevin Rand out to take a look at him.
He's in a lot of pain.
You could hear the sound effect of the ball hitting him, and then his yelp.
That was a 94-mile-per-hour fastball that was fouled off, but it really didn't change direction, so it was pretty much a direct hit to the stomach of Andy Fletcher. Hopefully just knocked the wind out of him momentarily.
He's fortunate, I think, that it missed his arm.
Oh man, he's in a lot of pain.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my goodness.
Even David Price coming over now to see how he is. Fletcher is trying to regain his senses.
We'll listen to it.
Well, he might be in a lot of pain right now, but it didn't knock him over. Just trying to catch his breath. So Price now will continue to warm up as they tend to Fletcher. We'll tell you the Tigers battle the Orioles July 17 through 19 at Comerica Park. Tickets are still available. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. The O's coming in July the 17th through the 19th. And Fletcher will continue. Two balls, one strike on Kevin Pillar. Pillar struck out in the second, 0 for 1. Tigers on top 5-0. We're in the 5th inning. driven high and deep into left field. Cespedes going back. He's going to watch this one go. It's out of here. A home run for Kevin Pillar. 7th of the year, and the Blue Jays are on the board. It's 5-1.
If you're a batter and you're going up against Price and he has a 5-run lead over you and you're sitting in a 2-1 count, you're pretty much guaranteed that you're going to get a fastball. Pillar got the fastball at 93 and hit it out to left field. But you know Price is going to challenge you. He tried to get it in, didn't get it in far enough.
Over the bullpens and into the seats. 4-run ball game now. Here is Devin Travis. He shoots one to center field, base hit. First hit of the game for Travis, his second in the series.
And Price might want to start a few of the Blue Jays off with his curveball or his changeup, which would get them off the fastball momentarily.
And 70 now for David. Here's Jose Reyes. Blue Jays now have 5 hits. And that is it for a strike. 0-1. Reyes didn't like that call. Had a sour look for Fletcher. A lot of Jays fans have made the trip from Toronto, trying to get a Let's Go Blue Jays chant going. The 0-1 is high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
A lot of Toronto fans made the short trip over here to Detroit to watch their Blue Jays.
A lot of Jays gear. What world are they wearing?
I have no idea. It's got to be hot, though.
Oh, they got him at first base.
How about McCann?
Well, let's see if they're going to challenge this. The throw by McCann right now gets Travis for the time being.
Avila blocked the hand of Travis getting to the bag while he applied the tag. So once they take a look at it, John Gibbons will simply go back down to the bottom of the steps. It's DeMarlo Hale. He is the bench coach of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, Avila's done a really good job at first base today.
There was no intent there, in my opinion, of Avila blocking the bag. Although some first baseman and third baseman will block the bag with their foot, he simply hasn't been over there that much. But it worked out nicely for the Tigers and McCann.
2 outs now, base is empty. 2-1 to Reyes. Bouncing ball left side, just out of the reach of Castellanos. Wilson will not be able to do anything with it. Second hit of the game for Reyes. And the 6th now for the Blue Jays. It'll bring up Donaldson. Fly ball strikeout for Donaldson. Popped him up. Should end the inning. Kinsler scooting over. Side retired. They get a run on the home run by Pillar. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire.
summary, grounded out by Victor to first with a runner on third base. That would be Kinsler, who was hit to lead off the bottom half of the first inning. J.D. Martinez plays long ball again, 2-run variety. He drives in Cespedes. Cespedes also was on base with another double, and then a triple down in the right field corner by James McCann, able to plate Castellanos. And that's the third triple of the year already for the youngster McCann.
It'll be Avila starting things off here in the 5th inning versus R.A. Dickey. 5-1 ball game. Tigers about to hit the Blue Jays 10-6. Avila's had a nice day. He's got a single. He's got a couple of nice defensive plays. Now the 1-0. Avila has appeared in 3 games, this being the 4th at first base, but this is his first start at first base. That'll miss high, and the count goes 2-1.
You would think that Avila, who was battling a sore knee and landed him on the disabled list, would not be able to play over at first base too often, nor can Victor Martinez. So it is definitely some conversation going on right now with Dave Dombrowski and his staff.
2-2 on Avila.
Brad has said that Victor will not see first base.
Well, he means way too much offensively to this team to put him out there at first base and run that risk. Now the 2-2. 3-2 on Avila.
You think the Tigers would ever consider, maybe for the next 6 weeks, maybe moving Castellanos over to first base? That would maybe let Romine play a little bit over there, Wilson maybe, or they might be able to go out and find themselves a bat at third base. No disrespect to Castellanos, he picked it up lately and who's playing better defensively, but that might be the best solution short term.
Never really thought of that. I mean, all of the conversation is on who can play first base. Cabrera warming up, by the way, in their bullpen.
I mean, some of the names that I've heard thrown out among baseball about other teams inquiring about third baseman: Aramis Ramirez of Milwaukee Brewers, Uribe now of the Atlanta Braves, and you got Ben Zobrist out there too. His name keeps coming up too. So you don't know what they're going to do, but that's just what people are talking about in baseball.
Strike one on Castellanos. Ramirez is the interesting one because he said that this is going to be his last year. I think that obviously he would like to finish up on a team that has a chance to go to the postseason. The 0-1. High pop-up. Middle of the infield into shallow center. It's going to be Pilar calling for it.
Let's take a look at the big boy, big play of the game. We were talking about Avila and the fact he's made a couple of nice plays at first base, even though he's playing over there only for the 4th time in his major league career. He reaches up, makes a real nice play, tumbles into the first row and gets up. No harm, no foul.
Spikes a flying. Now McCann. Pulled to third, diving stop Donaldson to second one, double play.
We told you that Josh was real nice down at third base. That's a really nice athletic play.
A bullet by McCann turns into a 5-4-3, and that'll end the inning for the Tigers.
guys that have found their timing in their leg kicks. And that would be Donaldson and Bautista. Both have similar leg kicks, but nothing can happen until that front leg gets firm on the ground. Then you can rotate the hips, and then you can do a lot of damage if you're blessed with tremendous hand-eye coordination, as both guys are. Donaldson even said that, talking to Bautista this year, that's the one thing that Bautista continued to say to him. You can keep that leg kick, but if you don't get that front foot down, then you're not going to have any kind of bat speed. That's why a lot of pitchers throw Bautista and Donaldson really slow breaking balls, trying to disrupt that timing. I mean, there's a reason why you do not see that many guys with that high leg kick.
Well, when you look at Bautista and what it's done to resurrect his career, it really has been impressive.
Yeah, that's what he started to do when he left Pittsburgh and went to Toronto. Dwayne Murphy was the hitting coach at that time when Bautista was traded from Pittsburgh to Toronto. Good pitch. 94 on the black. Inside. Nothing Bautista can do with this.
Literally. Right on the edge of the strike zone. Here's the 0-2. Inside, 1-2. Don't get too comfy there, Bautista.
Now, if you're Price, I mean, you could do a number of different things. I mean, you could fade that changeup down and away, but you better bury it. And because if you don't get it down, he'll hit it hard. Going cutter away. We told you coming into the game that Bautista has enjoyed quite a bit of success against Price in his career. In 47 at-bats, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs against Price.
Pulled to third, and that one ate up. Castellanos ripped right by him. To the corner it goes. Bautista is on his way to second, and he is in with a leadoff double.
That's why the cut fastball sometimes is not a great pitch, because it moves laterally in the strike zone. There's no depth to it. They tried to get the cutter in. They missed with it in, and Castellanos nearly got killed by this line drive off the bat of Bautista. See how it just stays laterally in the strike zone? If you're going to go inside against Bautista, you may as well go in there with that four-seam fastball, the one that you know that you can control a little bit better. And watch your lips, Nick.
That is the 7th hit of the game for the Blue Jays. They have the leadoff man on here in the 6th, down by 4. Single, ground out for Encarnacion. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Encarnacion this year with 17 home runs, on pace yet again to reach the 30 plateau, which he has done 3 consecutive years, or 3 times in his career. Had a slam earlier this year against Texas, his 7th. Pulls that one to third. Castellanos able to gobble this one up. A couple of hard hit balls right at Nick. 1 out.
And the hit speed on that double down toward Nick Castellanos off the bat of Bautista was at 102. And we put up a graphic last night that showed us that Bautista in the top 5 in baseball in hit speed. Miggy was on that list.
Valencia, the batter. David Price has gone 11 of his last 12 starts, pitching at least 6 innings. The only start that he did not do so was that rain-shortened start, or rain-affected start, I should say, by with the Tigers playing in Cincinnati. He went only 5 innings of that game, then the rains came. Here's the 0-1.
Back-to-back changeups thrown to Danny Valencia. He's been throwing him a lot of changeups today. And Valencia, a guy that also came into the game today with really good numbers against David. .65% of the 84 total pitches thrown today by Price have been fastballs. 35% off speed, whether it be the curve or that changeup. Xfinity is the sponsor of our high-speed pitch on Price today. 96 miles an hour. He's gotten there a couple of times this afternoon. It is refreshing, man, to see somebody pitch inside as aggressively as Price here is today. It is really a lost art in the major leagues.
He is doing so against one of the better offenses in the game.
That's what you have to do to them. You have to crowd them. These guys have shown they can do damage when they're able to extend their arms. You better throw another changeup. He's all over that fastball right now.
Price last season had 17 starts of at least 8 innings. That led all of Major League Baseball. This year he's got 5 of those.
It was a brilliant trade by David Dombrowski last July 31st, knowing that it was going to be very difficult to keep Max Scherzer because Max had already turned down a really good contract. And so they protected themselves for the remaining of 2014 and 15 with the acquisition of David.
Bouncing in, McCann blocks it. 1-2 on Valencia. It's a 3-team trade where the Tigers gave up Drew Smiley last year, Willie Adames, who was a very highly thought of minor league prospect, and Austin Jackson part of that deal. With Seattle involved. Shallow center field. Ghost is there for the out. Valencia retired. Time for a game break. Now back to the studio we go. Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. Well, those Houston Astros, they may be falling behind today, but they are for real in the West.
They will be buyers instead of sellers, as they have been the last number of years. They got a really young team. That shortstop they just called up about a month ago was legit. Carlos Correa. He already has 6 homers.
Here's Russell Martin, who fouled it back out of play. It's going to be interesting to see who wins the Rookie of the Year this year. I mean, Correa's going to make a bid, although he got to the big leagues later. Billy Burns having a good year with the Athletics.
McCann in that conversation.
James getting a chance to play with the Avila injury.
A lot of really good young talent surfacing in the big leagues in baseball. I mean, there are a lot of good young players. As a matter of fact, I saw a list the other day where like the top 10 or 12 players that were rated as the best in the minor leagues coming into the season, all those guys have gotten to the big leagues.
And you know, I don't know that we've had an era in Major League Baseball where we have seen so many good young players come at the same time.
That kid Sano just surfaced in the big leagues with Minnesota.
1-2 on Martin. They already called up Byron Buxton. You mentioned Correa, the kids that have come up as well for the Chicago Cubs.
And Bryant. Talked about the young kid in New York, Syndergaard. It's a lot of baseball's in really good hands these days.
Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball to short. Wilson will charge. Martin is out. Inning is over. So nothing comes of a leadoff double, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price period. Bell Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Spectacular day here in the Motor City, 4th of July. We are hoping that you are having a great holiday today. The Tigers are so far. They lead 5-1. And we'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Tigers will send up Josh Wilson against R.A. Dickey, who is still out there. He's about to throw his 100th pitch of the afternoon, and it's grounded foul, 0-1. Wilson ghosts Kinsler for the Tigers, who have 10 more hits today. Here's the breakdown on Dickey after 100. Here's the 0-1. Wilson a single. He's also been hit by a pitch.
Brad has done a really nice job this year at making sure that he keeps Iglesias fresh. He kind of treats Iglesias like a veteran player, you know, every 15 games or so, because he plays such a demanding position, and just kind of gets him off his feet for a day and starts either Romine or Wilson at shortstop. He's really the only player, everyday player, that he treats like that.
Iglesias missing all of last year with the shin injuries.
You think that's the main reason?
Yeah, I think so. I think Brad has even said so. They have to really be careful to make sure that they don't overdo it with him. One away, Wilson retired. It's the first time in this game the Tigers have not gotten the leadoff man on. And I think it's smart too, Ron, because once you get late in the season, especially a demanding position like short, trying to keep him fresh is always a good thing.
Well, we've seen how valuable Iglesias is to the defense. Tigers have a really good defense this year, in large part due to Ghost in center field, Iglesias at shortstop.
I will say this, though, when Iglesias is out in a fall game, man, he is worth the price of admission. And he's been that way both offensively and defensively. Goes, slaps into the air to center field. A lot of room out there for Pilar.
You know, we were talking about J.D. Martinez looking like he's going to make his first All-Star team. Iglesias should be on the American League All-Star team as well, backing up Alcides Escobar of the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, and there are a lot of guys that should be on the team this year, but I wonder how much of the impact that all the Royals, who potentially will win all these starting positions, will have in, you know, knocking some guys out that might otherwise have been on the team.
Yeah.
Two outs now for Kinsler. Ian single, hit by pitch, run scored. Ball one.
Well, it looks like Kansas City Royals are going to get their wish anyway. Eric Hosmer looking like he's going to get to start the All-Star game with Miggy on the disabled list.
It's another knock for Kinsler. Two out single. Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
There's a whole lot of folk out there today, boy, enjoying a cold one. Trust me.
It's been Miller Time all day, I think.
You know it.
Here comes John Gibbons on. That's going to be it for R.A. Dickey. They will go to the bullpen. So Dickey departs the scene. Wallside windows pitching change. We'll be back.
Today in Detroit, we celebrate two great American traditions, the 4th of July and Tigers baseball. Old Glory and that Old English D flying proudly next to one another. We're in a great American city, celebrating America's independence and America's pastime.
And the Tigers have celebrated here in the 4th of July with a pretty good lead right now, 5-1. New pitcher coming on for the Blue Jays, Ryan Tepera.
We saw Tepera in last night's game. Here are numbers in the minor leagues. 20 1/3 innings. ERA was outstanding. Down in the minors, a whip as well. 22 strikeouts and 7 base on balls. Had a good fastball.
Dickey is done for the afternoon. Tepera takes over. Tepera came on in the 8th. Faced 3 batters, did walk 1, but he got a double play. He'll go against Yoenis Cespedes with 2 outs and a man at first base. And Tepera missing high. Fastball at 96 from the right-hander. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes on Cespedes.
With R.A. Dickey departing the contest, Russell Martin's got his more conventional catcher's glove. Told you earlier that the mitt he was using when Dickey was out there, more like a first baseman / catcher's glove, although it still has quite a bit of padding inside of it. A little bigger glove. That's the one that he probably feels more comfortable wearing.
For the guy throwing 96. Especially. Kinsler draws the throw. Cespedes 2 hits today, plus an RBI. Here's the 2-1. Ripped to third, right at Donaldson. Hit it hard again. This time right at him. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Let's go to the 7th.
Sponsor of our pitch by pitch, David Price, has made his life a whole lot easier these days. He's thrown quite a few changeups really early to get the balance of these right-handers off balance, and then he's come back with some really good fastballs. They've swung right through them, or they've been late on them, or they've hit them right off the end of the bat. Just another outstanding performance today by David Price, and it kind of looks exactly like Anibal Sanchez last night. Sanchez, good changeup, good fastball last night.
Well, David back to the mound after 6 strong innings so far, 71% of those fastballs. And he'll work it home, missing outside.
Mixed in a curveball right there, but he missed against Chris Colabello.
Bottom 3 here, Colabello, Pilar, and Travis. In the 7th inning for the Blue Jays, 5-1 Tigers. Trying to win 2 in a row here. Lifted back out of play, 1-1 on Colabello.
This is why the Blue Jays lineup is so deep. I mean, we talk about the front 3 guys. I mean, 4 really, Reyes, Donaldson, and Bautista, and Encarnacion, but Colabello and Pilar and Travis, those bottom feeders, are having good seasons.
They are, and they hit with a little bit of power too. They've hit 19 home runs between them, actually 20 with a homer today by Pilar.
I mean, that turns the lineup over, and that's the main reason why Donaldson and Bautista and Encarnacion all have 50 RBIs or better.
1-2 on Colabello.
John Gibbons probably hoping that his general manager gets him a starter at the trade deadline so they can stay in the American League East race.
Yeah, I think they could use one. And then again, there aren't too many staffs that couldn't use one.
Good point.
But they lost Marcus Stroman early this year. And
that was a huge loss.
Yeah, we saw him last year. He was good.
Mound presence, swagger. That guy right there just keeps getting it done, man. That's Mark Burley there. You know, we were talking about Pilar and being a 32nd round draft choice.
Swing and a miss.
Burley was a 38th round draft choice, and he has parlayed that into better than a decade of pitching 200 consecutive innings and getting it done with a fastball that very seldom gets above 90 miles an hour. It's a cutter there. Real nice location.
Here is Pilar.
Did you know Mark Burley was cut from his high school team as a freshman and a sophomore?
Yeah, well, I knew he was cut. Well, he was cut twice. I didn't know that.
He was cut from his freshman year and his sophomore year in high school.
Wasn't Michael Jordan cut from his basketball team in high school?
He was.
What's that coach doing these days? Here's the 0-1. Well, some are late bloomers, and Mark Burley apparently physically didn't have it at that point. He blossomed.
This guy here too didn't do a whole lot. You know, wasn't regarded as a big-time draft choice.
Pilar, we mentioned at Cal State Dominguez, had a 54-game hitting streak, which is close, and that's a Division II record, but close to the D1 record set by Robin Ventura, a 58-gamer in his days at Oklahoma State. There's an even 100 now for Price. Slap to right field. It's going to slice. Foul. 1-2 on Pilar. Devin Travis will be next. Price has allowed just one run in this game, the home run to Pilar back in the 5th. Swing and a miss, and Price got him to go fishing. 7 punch-outs now for David.
And he's gotten the strikeouts today in a variety of different ways. He got the strikeout of Colabello on the cut fastball inside, then he pulls the string on Pilar, and he had him looking awkwardly and is flailing at strike 3.
No balls, 1 strike on Devin Travis. Devin a single back in the 5th. He's 1 for 2. He's hitting .360 after coming off the disabled list. He had missed about 36 games with a shoulder issue. And Price has him set up 0-2. Here it comes. Just off the plate. Save for 1 inning last night. That, of course, being the 6-run 8th. Tigers pitching has really done a fabulous job of slowing down a red-hot offense. Now the 1-2. 2-2 on Travis. Trying to get things back to the top of the lineup, Jose Reyes. Blue Jays have been much better at home this year. They hit .281 at Rogers Center, only .250 on the road. So that's a difference of about 30 points.
Yeah, and Travis has huge splits. He's hitting 100 points better at home than he is on the road.
Well, that's going to fill the count 3-2. The Jays have also hit 65 of their home runs at home, 42 now on the road. So there's a large disparity there as well.
something that the Tigers must do a better job of, and it started to get there with the first 2 wins of this series. They're 14-25 out of the division.
Pulled into left field, base hit.
And they are 26-14 against the Central.
Well, here's Reyes now. That'll keep the inning going. Pitch count up to 108 now for David. Reyes, a couple of hits in this game. .121, the most that Price has thrown in any start this year. That was against the Angels. Action in the Detroit bullpen. Albuquerque beginning to warm up. Reyes looks at a strike, 0-1. Single double for Reyes, his first 2 hits in this series. He's a former batting champ. He won one back in 2011 with the Mets. It was back in those days where he was also stealing a ton of bases. Back him out of there, 1 ball, 1 strike.
David Price is not a comfortable at bat. Not at all. One and 2. I cannot really think of another left-hander that has a mid-90s fastball that can command it as well as Price can on the outside part of the plate. He is money out there.
It's fun to watch for a guy that throws as hard as he does, to have the exceptional command that he has. And that command has allowed him to go deep into games, which he's done a ton of this year. He'll get fouled back. 1-2 on Jose Reyes.
Throwing harder. That last pitch at 97. And the hardest pitch he's thrown here today.
He probably knows he's emptying the tank right here. Gene Lamont gets on the phone to talk to the Tigers bullpen.
When David first came to the big leagues, every last fastball he threw was 97 miles an hour. But Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, and down in Tampa, encouraged him to start working on the secondary stuff. And you see the results of that.
Outside, 2-2. Brett Cecil warming up, the left-hander for the Blue Jays in their pen. (5-1). Tigers have the lead here in the 7th. 1 on, 2 out for the Jays. And the 2-2. Bouncing ball towards short. Wilson to his right will get the force at second, and that will end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left for the Blue Jays. David Price, another outstanding outing here this afternoon, scattering 8 hits and only 1 run, and the home run by Pilar. That has been it. And a gorgeous afternoon on this 4th of July. Now singing God Bless America, Technical Sergeant Mario Jimenez of the 127th Wing Michigan Air National Guard from Selfridge Air National Guard Base.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark. 5-1 is our score. The Tigers have the lead here this afternoon. Mario and Rod back here at the ballpark today, and a great day for baseball. Rod, well, on a day where the Tigers find out Miguel Cabrera is done for 6 weeks, they really answered the bell today, and that was somewhat of a concern how they would react to it, and so far, so good.
Well, it's real nice when you can start the day with David Price out there. David came in 15-2 career against Toronto Blue Jays. Looks like it's going to be 16-2, so he was simply sensational today.
All right, David Price has done most of the work. The Tigers offense getting him just enough runs now. We'll see if they can add on as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And the first one is a little bit outside to Victor Martinez. Single, ground out, ground out. He also has an RBI today. That's in for a strike. 1-1 on Victor. R.A. Dickey started for the Blue Jays. Cabrera took over in the 6th. And the right-hander is still out there. Bouncing ball right into the shift. Travis from the outfield grass.
And JD got it going early in the very first inning. He was part of the damage that was done against R.A. Dickey. They scored 4 in that first frame. He did the heavy lifting. It was his 22nd home run of the year, and the tear that he has been on lately is really just unbelievable.
He also has 55 RBIs. Didn't particularly care for that call by Andy Fletcher. The average also starting to climb quite a bit too now. It's up to 285. Oh, and 2.
A different approach for JD than he had against R.A. Dickey. R.A. Dickey, he was kind of bullying that knuckleball, hitting it to the pull field, but against the hard thrower. Cabrera simply trying to hit that ball the other way, which he does a very nice job of doing. A lot of power to right field for JD.
Only Albert Pujols has hit more home runs than JD Martinez. 24 against JD's 22.
Remember the start that Nelson Cruz got off to in Seattle? It was looking like he was going to hit about 50 this year.
Yeah, especially in that ballpark, which is considered a pitcher's park.
Cruz was the only big leaguer last year to hit 40 home runs. It's looking like there's going to be quite a few guys this year that hit 40 or more homers.
Swing and a miss.
That's nice.
Now Martinez out of there, 2 gone. Any time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag DetroitDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
And Nelson Cruz has 21 total home runs, but only 3 since June 1st.
Here's Avila with 2 outs. Alex on base 2 times today, single and a walk. He walked twice in the ball game last night. 0-1. Cabrera doesn't appear to be a comfortable at bat either.
He's a hard thrower. Mid-90s fastball with some nice downward action on the slider. A slider that's about 88 miles an hour.
They play Avila to pull. Most teams do. There are a couple of guys in this Tigers lineup, Martinez and Avila, that get shifted quite a bit. Here's the 1-1. Up and in. 2 balls, 1 strike on Alex. 2-2 now on Avila. Nick Castellanos waiting on deck. Avila bumped up to 5 in the lineup today with Cabrera out of action. Swing and a miss. Threw it by him, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Cabrera, who's retired all 4 that he has faced in this game.
Seven brilliant innings. As a matter of fact, took a no-hitter into the 8th. He got it done with that butterfly changeup, then elevating good fastballs up and out of the zone. Really able to shut down their big bats. And David Price did the same exact thing. Lots of really good changeups that got him off the fastball. Made his life a whole lot easier when he really started to use that heater that he topped out at 97 miles an hour. That's our call, Sam. Call of the game.
Tigers came into this one 13-3 when David Price starts the ball game. They lead right now 5-1.
He is looking to go 16-2 against the Blue Jays.
He's had vaunted 2 through 4 hitters. They're only 3 for 18.
That's what great pitching will do. It will always shut down good hitting. And those 3 guys, Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion, are all very good.
They're all coming up here in the 8th. First one is in for a strike from Al Albuquerque.
It's a fastball there at 92 thrown by Albuquerque, but 70% of the time he unleashes a pitch toward home plate. It's got a wrinkle in it. It's that slide piece.
0-2. Donaldson pop-up, fly-out, strikeout. 1 for 8 in the series. Couple of RBIs.
And Price was 22 of 28 in first pitch strikes, so that was a tremendous job of getting ahead of the Blue Jay hitters.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Donaldson strikes out for the second time today. 1 gone.
A few 94-mile-per-hour fastballs thrown to Donaldson, and then here comes a slider. It looks like a fastball until about right there. You start your swing, and then all of a sudden, it just disappears on you.
8th strikeout for Tigers pitching this afternoon. Jose Bautista double and a walk. Drilled to center field. Ghosts on the move. 2 down here in the 8th. Here's Encarnacion. Single in 3 at bats. Tigers today did the majority of their scoring in the very first inning. They scored 4 times against R.A. Dickey, who faced 9 batters in that first. Delabar, the right-hander, tuning up now for Toronto. Justin Smoke has moved to the on-deck circle. Little chopper, third base side, charging Castellanos. Albuquerque, a 1-2-3 inning. 7.5 in the books here on the 4th of July. Tigers on top 5-1. Final is here, and it's a rematch 4 years in the making as Alex Morgan and Team USA take on defending champion Japan to see who will be crowned a champion. Coverage begins Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern only on your local Fox station and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. And don't forget, we've got Tigers Blue Jays tomorrow. Great doubleheader tomorrow. That begins at noon, the final game in this series. And then, well, you can just stick around. 5 o'clock is when our coverage begins for the World Cup final on Fox. So here come the Tigers now as we go to the bottom of the 8th, and Steve Delabar takes over.
And Delabar enjoying a pretty good season, pitching in his 23rd contest this year. The earned run average is really good, just a shade over 2.5. He's got a fastball that tops out at about 94. Also a slider and a splitter. Slider not a good pitch for him. The batting average against his slider this year, 375, but against the fastball and splitter, the batting average not very good against Delabar.
So the big right-hander goes to work, and Castellanos looks at a ball outside, 1-0. One for 3 this afternoon for Nick. He has himself a double and a run scored. 2-0 the count. Action in the Tigers pen. Soria and Farrell warming up. Farrell was just called up yesterday, his first trip to the big leagues. See if Jeff gets in the game. McCann and then Wilson to follow here in the bottom of the 8th. 3-1. Full count now on Castellanos. Really good to see Nick starting to come on now. He's had a 5-game hitting streak, 11 hits on this homestand. Really, really good news, because there was a stretch where many thought perhaps was on the brink of heading down to Toledo for a spell.
And Brad sat him down and for 3 consecutive games while he was working long and hard with the hitting coach, Wally Joyner. And sometimes that's what you need to do. You need to sit a young player down to get his attention, and that's exactly what was the case with Nick. There's Wally.
Delabar with the 3-2 rolled foul. 30 appearances last year in the big leagues, 55 the year before that. He has also been with Seattle in his career. But in, that's going to be ball 4. The Tigers get the leadoff man on here in the 8th. Nick on base for the 2nd time in this game. Iglesias will come out a pinch run. Here's McCann stepping in. James, a couple of double play balls. He's also tripled and knocked one in. Fouled away. Tigers have 11 hits. The Jays have 8 today. Tigers scored 4 in the first. They got 1 more in the 4th inning. Martin is able to keep that one close enough to keep Iglesias at first base. Tigers wouldn't mind getting that 6th run in to give them a 5-run lead. Well, the Jays have 8 hits in this game today. You never really got the feeling that they were putting up a huge fight against David Price. 1-2 on McCann. Their only run coming in on the home run by Pilar. But Price was able to scatter those hits where they didn't have too many of them in the same inning. The 1-2. Wilson waiting on deck. So McCann, by the way, on this homestand with his triple today, now has a triple, 2 doubles, and 2 homers. And he got him strike 3. He took it looking that time. 1 gone. We'll bring on Wilson.
It's a well-located fastball in the mid-90s thrown by Delabar, which froze McCann. Couldn't get the bat off the shoulder. Can't locate one better than that. Down and in, mid-90s. Very, very difficult to get to.
Wilson today is single. He's also been hit by a pitch, getting the start at shortstop today, with Iglesias getting the day off, although Jose's come in the game to pinch run here. Average at 381 for Wilson. Josh taking a good long look down at Dave Clark in the coaching box at third. Josh been well traveled. Began his career with the Marlins in '05. He was a teammate of Miguel Cabrera's. Played in Washington, Tampa, Arizona, San Diego, Seattle among his teams. Delabar keeping a very close eye on Iglesias. Wilson last year played in Texas, 24 games with the big club, the rest of the year at Round Rock. Oh, he's hit by the pitch. Delabar came up and in, and that's the second time in this game that Wilson has been hit. He was also hit by Dickey in the first. Well, it's Christmas in July and the 21st when the Tigers battle the Seattle Mariners at 7:08. A special ticket offer, which includes a Christmas in July t-shirt, is available exclusively at tigers.com/Xmas. July the 21st with the M's in town. It'll be a Christmas in July here at the ball yard. Swing and a foul tip by Gose. Anthony out of the 9 slot today, 1 for 3, single and a run scored. Two on, 1 out. Tigers trying to add to their 5-1 lead. We're in the 8th. Good block there by Russell Martin. 1-1. JV will be on the hill tomorrow in the series finale. And if the Tigers hold on here, they will be going for a sweep tomorrow.
Justin in his last start got off to a slow start. He walked quite a few early, but he settled in nicely and was able to pitch into the 6th inning.
One and two on Gose.
Justin still building up arm strength. It's almost like he's getting toward the tail end of spring training after spending the first 3 months of the season on the DL.
Little chopper to the first baseman. Oh, and it's bobbled and knocked down by Colabello. Everybody's going to be safe. That'll load the bases. Flanked right off his glove.
Toronto Blue Jays committed 3 errors in last night's game. And kick save in a beauty here by Colabello. Booted it and he kicked it.
E3, that'll load the bases, and it's going to bring up Kinsler. Ian's had a good day, couple of singles. He's been hit by a pitch. He has scored a run. This one gets away from Martin. Here comes Iglesias. He scores standing up. Everybody moves up, and it's now 6-1 Detroit.
Tigers have done their fair share of damage with the bat in the series against Blue Jay pitching, but they've also been helped out by quite a few errors, some wild pitches, 3 hit batters today. This is not the Blue Jays team that finds themselves in the American League East hunt as we speak. Nothing Martin could do there to help out Delabar, and that is now the all-important 5-run lead now for the Tigers.
Now the infield coming in with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. Two balls, no strikes on Kinsler. Infield coming in for the Blue Jays. The 2-0. Drill deep to left field. That ball going to the corner. On the move and attempting a sliding play. Out there and left. And he just couldn't quite come up with it. Right on that track down the left field line, too, for Valencia.
Valencia kind of felt that wall closing in on him. Not an outfielder by trade, but he had plenty of time to take one or two more steps, and that would have made that a much easier play for him.
Three and one now on Kinsler. Farrell now is the only Tiger warming up. Soria has now taken a seat. Did he go? Yes. 3-2 on Kinsler. Jordan Baker made that call. Cespedes waiting on deck. He's done some damage today with a couple of hits and an RBI. Tigers got 4 in the first, 1 in the 4th inning, and now 1 here in the 8th, perhaps some more. Pulled foul. It's been a long inning for Delabar. 27 pitches. And he's retired only 1 batter. Ground ball, base hit left field. 1 run is in. They're going to try and get 2 in. Throw to the plate. He is not in time. A single for Kinsler scores Wilson and Ghost. And the Tigers break it open.
Good at bat by Kinsler, who finally was able to catch up with one of those mid-90s fastballs thrown by Delabar right down the middle. They hit it right between Donaldson and Reyes, who were drawn in. Ghost was able to get a huge lead because the infield was drawn in, and really no play on him at home plate.
Pete Walker comes out, the pitching coach for the Blue Jays. Kinsler RBIs 33 and 34. Hey, this month baseball's best players gather in Cincinnati for the Midsummer Classic. Home field advantage for the World Series is on the line. Our coverage of the 2015 Major League Baseball All-Star Game begins July 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. So here is Cespedes. 8-1 Tigers. Grounded foul down the third base line. All of Delabar's problems started by walking the leadoff man Castellanos. He's also hit a batter. He's given up a 2-run single and has been the victim of an error by Colabello. 1-1. So that's an even 30 now for Delabar. Two and one the count. Cespedes hit his 24th double back in the first inning. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Yoenis. 13 hits last night for the Tigers, 12 more today. 3-2, it stays on Cespedes. There's a base hit to left. And move Kinsler to second. That's going to be it for Delabar, who can't get through the inning. He has thrown 36 pitches.
Tigers have had their hitting shoes on the last couple of days against Toronto Blue Jay pitching.
They're going to have to go get him now, and Delabar is done for the afternoon. So we'll step aside. 8-1 is our score. Tigers with a commanding lead today. Days, 13 hits in consecutive games now, and David Price, well, he did the rest today, Rod. He was really good.
Well, he was already 15-2 against the Blue Jays in his career, and today he kind of reinvented himself with some good changeups, elevated fastballs, and went inside. It looked like now he's going 16-2 career against Toronto.
And we've got a new pitcher now. It's the left-hander Brett Cecil coming on for the Jays.
Brett's got quite a few different pitches. He's got a couple different fastballs, 2s and 4s. Also a changeup that he uses primarily to the right-handed batters. Also a curveball and a cutter. Fastball usually tops out at about 93 for Cecil, whose earned run average as we speak is over 5.
Well, the left-hander now will face Victor Martinez, who turns around, bats right-handed. Victor is single in 3 at-bats plus an RBI. 7-run Detroit lead thanks to a 3-run 8th inning. And Cecil fires a strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch. A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Victor Martinez. Over 37,000 fans in the ballpark here today. They've been treated to a good Tigers effort. Trying to make it 2 straight. Here's the 1-1. Bouncing ball to short. Should be 2. 6-4-3 on the double play ends the inning. So we'll go to the 9th here on the 4th of July. It's 8-1 Detroit. Favor the Tigers. They've out-hit them 13-8 today, and now the big league debut for Jeff Farrell here in the 9th inning for Detroit.
Well, it's always nice when you call up a kid from the minors, you can get him in a low leverage situation, and that's exactly how Jeff Farrell's going to make his major league debut in the minors this year in 18 games, logging 28 innings, outstanding earned run average, but the strikeouts to walks ratio was tremendous.
He's 24 years old, born in Charlotte, North Carolina, was a 26th round pick a few years back, 2010, for the Tigers. So he will make his major league debut right now.
Had only pitched in one game in Toledo before getting called up to the majors.
See the defensive changes the Tigers have. Wilson will move to third. Iglesias stays in to play short. And a swing and a miss by Danny Valencia.
Somewhat of a violent delivery by Jeff Farrell. Head jerking violently over toward the first base side of the diamond.
Here's the 0-1. Ooh, he drops one in nicely, 0-2. Valencia today is 0 for 3, including a double play ball. Farrell's 0-2. Bouncer back up the middle into center field. A base hit. Leadoff man is Let's check in now with Matt Shepard with a preview of today's Tigers Live.
Mario, we invite everyone to stick around because Mickey and Craig will be in the Cole Sam studios to break this one down. We'll talk with Ian Kinsler, our player of the game right here on the field. We'll hear from Brad Ausmus and go inside the clubhouse and then quickly head over to Rod's house for burgers, brats, cold beverages. I see you, young fella.
Well, you better bring the charcoal and the grill and everything else and we can get it done, Shep.
I knew that was coming. Here's Russell Martin, runner going with no throw. And Martin in this game is 0 for 3. I would expect some steak and some lobster on the grill, not these burgers and dogs.
That's what I'm thinking about. Today's rib day. But I'm all for all of that, though.
Rib's a good call, too. No stolen base, defensive indifference on that play. Farrell slings one outside. 2 balls, no strikes on Russell Martin.
And Farrell did a nice job of getting ahead of Valencia before throwing an 0-2 pitch right over the heart of the plate.
Drew Verhagen, who was also called up yesterday, warming up. Bouncing ball to short. Iglesias has it there. Throws him out.
No such thing as a bad hop for Iglesias. He makes even the trickier hops look rather routine.
Here's Chris Colabello. 17 games at Erie this year against Farrell. The opponents batted just .212 against him. 13 saves in 18 games in the minor leagues. Stays high, 1-0. Colabello singled and a couple of strikeouts in this one. Close at bats versus David Price, who stands to be the winner in this game. On the outer edge. High fly ball left field. Cespedes will watch this one go. It is out of here. A home run for Colabello. 2-run shot. His 7th of the year.
This is a veteran move here by Ian Kinsler. And to go in and settle the rookie down. You remember how you did it when you were down in the minor leagues? Just locate a little bit better, get strike one. You got to smile at him. That's what a good veteran leadership will do for a very young kid. It's a great move by Ian.
Make it an 8-3 ball game, and the Jays now have 10 hits. And Farrell missing high to Kevin Pillar. Base is empty now with 1 out, 2 runs in. They'll get back out of play, 1-1. Soria now is warming up in the Detroit bullpen. After that home run, Verhagen sits down. Two and one. Missed the outside corner. 3 balls, 1 strike. Devin Travis waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Popped him up. Left side of the infield for Iglesias. 2 gone. Fans, you can follow the Tigers all season long with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat on your smartphone or tablet. Here is Devin Travis with 2 outs. 8-3 Detroit. Strike 1. 37,211 was the attendance here today on the 4th of July. Ground ball to third. Knocked down by Wilson. Will he have time? No, he throws it away. Travis on his way to second base. He'll pull in there. Two-out runner keeps it rolling for the Blue Jays.
Now that ball kind of ate him up. It was a short hop, and by the time Wilson was able to recover, he had to throw from a sidearm angle. The ball sailed on him. Avila not able to get over there and knock it down, and therefore Travis able to get down to second base.
Wilson will be charged with 2 errors. The first 2 errors of the day for the Tigers.
First 2 errors of the series. They played a clean game last night.
So now here is Reyes. Doubled in the 3rd, singled in the 5th. Ball 1. Two-run shot by Colabello, and now an error keeps the inning going. Ground ball right side should do it. Kinsler has it. Tigers win in the 4th of July.
Let's go eat some barbecue.
Final score 8-3. Tigers have won the last 2. As they take it here today against the Blue Jays. Back with more.